Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Ellie Swoboda and I am one of your team captains this year for the 2025 Chippewa Falls Equestrian team. So I'm glad to be here and I'm glad to be bringing you one of the first safety videos of the year. I've mentioned this before, whether at our code meeting or at some other practices, but one of our goals this year, both as team captains, we've all talked about it, and as really a team, is that we want to make sure that we're setting ourselves up for success. So whether that be practicing at home, watching videos online, or seeking help from other professionals, that's all great, and I'm really glad that you guys are doing that. But another way that we're going to do that is by making sure that both ourselves as student athletes and our friends here as equine athletes are safe, strong, and healthy. So all of these videos that I'm going to be talking about throughout the year will pertain to that in some way or another, but it's really going towards the overall goal that we want to make sure that we are giving our best to our equine athletes because we're asking a lot of them. So today we're going to be talking about something that is, I think, it's really common obviously, but it'll be a little bit overlooked, and that's why we're doing it first. Today we're going to be talking about mounting and dismounting our horses. So make sure that you guys are listening, following along, make sure that you interact with the Google form that is after this video, and practice. Practice, practice, practice is going to be the best thing for you to instill these procedures into your day-to-day life. So get ready and follow along. Okay, so I have Bug here with me. Bug will be the horse that you'll see really all season. I'm not going to use a different horse. She's mine. She's going to help me out today and show you guys what we're talking about. But so as I mentioned in the first little intro clip, we're going to talk about mounting and dismounting today. So the reason why we're talking about it is because it is so common. Obviously, it's the only way that we can get on our horse to ride, and hopefully y'all are riding at home and practicing. But it is something that if we're not doing the right thing, a lot can happen badly, and it can go wrong very quickly. So we're going to make sure that we show you the right way, right away, and that you guys can be practicing them all throughout the season. So let's get started. The first thing that I'm going to do before I actually get on is evaluate my environment. So right now, me and Bug are at home. We're in our arena. We have no gates. We have no stools, no trailers, step stools, people, bleachers, anything that can possibly get in our way. We're in a nice open arena. Same if you were outside, making sure that you're not crowded by anything. You're not going to be by any gates, people, etc. If anything were to happen, and I always say this all the time, you can have the brokest of horse, doesn't matter, things can go wrong, and most of the time they will. So we want to make sure that we are setting ourselves up for the best possible scenario. I'm going to evaluate my environment. I have nothing in my way, so we are good to go. The next thing that I'm going to do is make sure that my cinch is tight. I've already tightened it. I've already walked her in a circle, so it's not going to pinch her. It's not going to be uncomfortable for her. We want to make sure that our saddle is tight before getting on, because we don't want it to slip and slide around their back and cause any discomfort. So the last thing that I'm going to do before getting on is making sure that I'm wearing my helmet. This is required, I should say. This is a regulation per WIHA rules, but it is a super, super good idea to be wearing it at all times whenever you ride, whether that be here, at a show, at a different place. Even if you've ridden there all the time, it's a great idea to be wearing your helmet just in case anything were to happen. So I've done all these steps, and now it is time for me to get on. So one of the biggest things that I see people doing is when they get on, and you can have someone holding your horse, or even if you were at a mounting block, all of these procedures apply. People don't hold their reins when they get on. Okay, and it drives me bonkers. If anything were to happen to this horse, it would be through the gate. You could hurt people, yourself, anywhere. We really want to make sure that we are holding the reins when we get on. Additionally, when we hold the reins, I'm going to make sure that my inside rein is shorter than my outside rein. Can you guys see that in the video? Here, we'll back her up a step. We're going to make sure that our inside rein, I'm getting on the left side, that our inside rein is shorter than our right rein. The reason for this is because if something were to happen, Bug were to spook, and she were to move forward, I'm going to show you how this works. If I'm not holding my reins, and she's moving and she's standing there, right, and something were to move her forward, where does she go? She goes forward. She leaves me behind. But now I'll show you the reason why. We tip their noses to the inside. If we tip their noses just to the inside, just a little bit, it doesn't need to be drastic. As soon as I give some energy and apply forward motion, it stops their front end from moving, and essentially you're staying in a circle. So now, even if your horse is freaking out, even if they get scared, they stay in roughly a 5-foot square versus running crazy, and now you lose your horse and you run the risk of hurting other people. So that's really the biggest thing, is to make sure that you're holding your reins, your saddle's tight, and that you're holding them properly. Even if you are a pleasure rider, game rider, whatever discipline, you could be riding in a Bosal, in bridge reins, or Rommels. All of this stuff applies. You want to make sure that your inside rein is just tilted forward just a little bit, and then make sure that you get on. So as far as getting on, it's pretty self-explanatory. Making sure that my reins are obviously in the correct setup. My horse's feet are square. I'm not going to tip them over, or they're not going to fall over. I'm going to get on with, I'm on my left side, so I'm going to get on with my left leg. It's going to go in the stirrup, tilt their nose to the inside, and get on. So now I'm on. This is when you can do your vertical flexion, anything you guys want, but that's how I want you guys getting on every single time, right? I was in a controlled environment, and Bug, although we are in a controlled environment right now, even if it wasn't, there's no way it reduces the risk by getting on this way. So same thing applies when you guys are getting off. I don't want to see you, whoa, exactly, okay? I don't want to see you guys getting off backwards, sliding off the butt. I've seen people, they flip around and slide off with both their legs on this way. I don't want to see any of that. You guys need to make sure that you're dismounting just as safely as you are mounting. There's a lot of unruly factors that can affect this, and with how many people that we have in our practice ring and at our shows and everything, we've seen how wild it gets. I want to make sure that you guys are safe. So same thing applies. I'm going to make sure that my inside rein is shorter than my outside rein here. I'm going to swing my right leg up and around now and get off my horse. So that is really it. I want to make sure that you guys are really aware. Awareness is key when it comes to this, and practice, 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 practice. This is the best way that you can ensure that both you and your horse will be safe when getting on. So I'm looking forward to the rest of these videos. Again, make sure that you interact with the Google form that's listed below, and I will hopefully see you at practice. Bye.